Lonely Attack on the Different World, web novel, chapter 83. I think some things are fine on their own, but should never come as a combo. Day 32, the Faraway Labyrinth, 67th floor. Now onto 67th floor. I gave up on pure feelings. There are no monsters with pure feelings here. I mean, normally you would come from above, so 1/3 would be at the 34th floor. So the rest of the floors are not so pure feelings. I'm tired. I don't even know what time it is. I don't even know if it's night or daytime. When am I supposed to rest? The bullying from Armored Prez was way harsher than the battles with the countless monsters until now, so I instantly felt exhausted. But monsters on the 60th floor are also strong, so I can't just waste my time since those worry warts are probably trying to cut their way here. Since the idiots were now with them, they probably should be alright. But since they are idiots, I can't help but be worried. Well, the geeks are with them as well, but they are geeks, so it's still not okay. As expected, 66th floor had demons. It is 66 after all. But then, why didn't the 77th floor have monster girls? It's 77th floor. If it had monster girls, I probably still would have been there. Long Stay probably would have been remodeling the 77th floor now. Those are true impure feelings. There were none, though. And Demon Blade, level 66 demons again. Until now, I dealt with them only once, during that demon swordsman battle. But he was a very scary enemy. It attacked me right where it hurts, my main weakness. That's right, my feeble affection rating. Although lately, I'm about to completely give up on it. They surely will attack it as well, my affection rating, I mean. After all, they have such a cool name. Demon Blades are small humanoids about 120 to 130 centimeters in height, who are flying through the air. So this rules out pitfalls. Their number is 70, 66? Is this some kind of important point for demons? Looks like there are 66 of them. They also have magic resistance and magic absorption, so magic won't work on them, and demons are probably okay with both high and low temperatures, I think. After finishing preparations, we advanced to the 66th floor. Gah! 66 demon blades lunged at me from above while saying something, brandishing swords and spears. Some of them were also carrying shields, some halberds, each forming small groups of their own. And I catch them into a net. Those that manage to avoid their fate are chased by Armored Prez and quickly disposed of. The higher rank of packing magic, holding, became able to grab things, so catching enemies with the net infused with holding, I pin them to the ground and rain upon them minotaur swords and axes which I already had ready, carrying overhead with holding. Nice. If I keep practicing with this, I might even get a sword rain skill. Holding only recently reached level 3, so speed, power, and control are still lacking, making it impossible to land this attack unless I have the enemies restrained. But if I learn to control several weapons at the same time, I should be able to compensate for the lack of allies, which should also decrease the pressure on Armored Prez. Yes, let's practice this later. To put it bluntly, it was simply an attempt to copy Fin Funnels. I mean, who wouldn't want to try funnel or sword rain attacks? Simply whacking enemies with a stick was getting very boring. Translator's note, Funnel, also known as Fin Funnel, a semi-independent mobile turret from the Gundam universe, which in combination with other such units can be used to attack the target from multiple angles. To be honest, preparations were more of a struggle than the actual combat. I had to make the net from ivy, which greatly resisted my attempts of weaving it together. At times, I also stumbled upon thorns prickling my hands. It was really tough, and for some reason, Armored Prez-san was better at this than me. What about my jack-of-all-trades? Wasn't it the time to shine? Let's stock up on nets when we reach the town. In addition to magic stones, demon blades also left various weapons. That's very kind of the demons. They might even have higher favorability than me. It's another huge batch of weapons after Mino-sans and war puppets. It would have been very sad if I tried to use sword rain, but the only weapons I had were clubs. Thank you, demons. Above is the 65th floor, right? But the monster is not alone. Another group, but why? Peeking there, Murder Tarantula, level 65. Just a pack of spiders? Weren't bosses on every 5th floor? Which reminds me, the Geek Report was only on the floors 1 to 46, and it had no mentions of floor masters whatsoever. In other words, there are no bosses probably up to floor 50. From the 50th floor, they appear every 10 floors, and from the 75th every 5 floors. And from the 75th, the bosses have the fixed level of 100. If I won't find one on level 55, then it is certain. In the end, isn't the Geek Report totally useless? The last floor mentioned is the 46th floor. Just how long do I have to climb until I finally reach that floor? After nagging me so much about falling to the bottom, they prepared zero info on the lowest floors. And I barely got to see even half of the first floor. They deserve a club rain. With those thoughts, I silently fumigate the 65th floor. At this point, it's the standard routine. I'm beginning to worry about the remaining wood. even though the stockpile of mushrooms doesn't seem to decrease at all. The next one is the 64th floor, huh? Didn't we advance quite a bit, I guess? I don't actually feel that way, though, I mutter while finishing off the monsters and gathering the magic stones. Lately, I have to refill on Flat Gaze from the eyes of complete resignation. Flat Gaze Armored Prez doesn't do her job at all. Well, she does finish off the enemies and collects magic stones, but her most important duty, the Flat Gaze, there is none. And on the 64th floor is Blade Armadillo, level 64. Armadillos are famous for the sturdy armor covering their bodies, and those guys even have some blades attached. If such a sharp ball comes rolling at me, it will tear me to shreds. In addition, they have long, sharp claws on the forelegs. They are meant for digging, but I don't want to get hit by that as well. I remember a small armadillo going viral in our original world because it managed to repel a bullet, so I don't think that physical attacks will work on those guys. Translator's note, as crazy as it sounds, Googling revealed several articles about that. It should be from the same family as platypus and moles, but I never heard about possible weak points of a platypus. You don't get that many encounters with platypuses in a normal life, after all. Oh my, reflect magic, physical reflect, and spinning in martial arts? Isn't it impossible to fight them? I can understand trying to land an attack on a vulnerable spot or something, but 50 or 60 of them rolling around? Honestly, fighting in this labyrinth head-on is just stupid. As I remember, they fed on bugs and worms, but since I had nothing to lose, I threw some paralyzing and poison mushrooms to them. And they're eating them? Are they actually omnivores? Their feeding habits could be different from the armadillos of our world, or they could actually be omnivores, but I don't care either way. As long as they eat the mushrooms, anything works. I can just collect magic stones after a short rest. I make a tent at 66th floor, and after asking Armored Prez to guard me, I take a nap. I can hear how they writhe in agony on the floor above, so I should try not to pay attention. The same goes for the impression I make. It's my loss if I worry about it. Or rather, isn't it my loss regardless if I worry about it or not? I think I've slept for about 3 hours. I feel a lot sharper. I'd like to sleep a bit more, but there's no time for such luxuries. After all, Armored Prez is guarding me without any rest. Not like she needs any since she is a skeleton. As I thought, it seems that monsters stopped spawning. I feel no signs of any new monsters appearing on this floor or any of the floors below. Is it because Armored Prez resigned from her post? Since no one came to replace her, it seems that she was carrying this whole enterprise all on her own. Are dungeons this short on talented personnel? Well, since we completely annihilated everyone on the lowest floors, it makes sense that they would be short-handed. After collecting the magic stones in the 64th floor, we head to the hidden room. As always, no traps, no lock on the treasure chest, no monsters guarding it, just a lone chest sitting in the middle of a room. Such a sloppy approach, I can't expect affection rating to come out of the chest treated so clumsily. Even so, it's a good item. If only I didn't have the collar, I could probably get away with having it. However, chains of Prometheus? Wasn't Prometheus simply bound by chains? It's not like he himself was using any chains. In that case, couldn't I call it Andromeda chains, for example? As a high school boy, I could appreciate having the name of a cute girl attached to them instead.